Imagine this. You're sick as hell, and all you do is play a game all day just to find an escape from this dreadful existence. However, then you die and get reincarnated inside the very game you used to play from your sickbed. On top of that, you're reincarnated as the evilest being in that game, one that everyone fears. And you get to rule an entire civilization alongside your most beloved female character. Well, the story kicks off with Takuto waking up in a strange new world, breathing in fresh air and wondering if this is heaven. But nope, it's not heaven. It's the world of Eternal Nations, the dark fantasy strategy game he used to play non-stop while bedridden. Then, Atu, the mysterious witch from the civilization of ruin, Minagra, his favorite character, approaches him and addresses him as their king. By the way, Takuto realizes he's now role-playing as Minagra's leader for real, and not just casually. He's in full command of the most difficult civilization in the game, the one labeled Ruin and considered nearly impossible to master. But Takuto's no rookie. He was ranked #1 in the official Minagra player leaderboard. In other words, he's a total legend in the gaming community. Surprisingly, Atu remembers everything too. Every time he spoke to her, every time they conquered the world together, every time they got a game over, she remembers it all, and she's thrilled to be reunited with him. So yeah, this isn't just some Isekai'd drop-in, it's a full-on revival of their old campaign, with Takuto now leading the real-world version of Minagra. However, Takuto may be the king, but his social skills aren't that great. They still don't know where they are. Maybe it's the world of Eternal Nations, maybe it's the real world, or maybe it's something else entirely. But hey, since they're here, why not start over like the good old days? Atu suggests they build a kingdom together, just the two of them. Takuto's all in. He says, let's recreate those glorious days in this world. Thus, the Kingdom of Ruin is reborn. Atu pledges herself as Takuto's one and only subordinate, his right hand, his second brain, and together they'll lead Minoura, the most evil, most politically specialized civilization in the game. Well, now that the kingdom is back in business, it's time to do what Minoura does best: hide and scheme. They agree to go full shut-in mode. No flashy moves, no drawing attention, just gather intel and stay low for the time being. Then, Takuto summons one of his minions. He gives his first command to Ashina Gabachi-kun, the long-legged bug scout, and the little guy works just like in the game. Even the shared vision mechanic is intact. By the way, they've got 200 mana total and just spent 100. That leaves 100 mana, and they'll need 20 to build their first settlement. Takuto wanted to summon a warrior unit, but yeah, mana says nope. So for now, they're stuck with what they've got. Atu steps up and says she'll handle combat herself. She's a hero unit after all, and hero units get stronger over time. But right now, her combat power is just 3. If a strong enemy shows up, Minoura's gonna get steamrolled. Meanwhile, the scout finishes surveying the area. Takuto learns that they are surrounded by a dense forest. No animals, no monsters, no food sources, just trees. Forests are great for hiding, sure, but the total lack of wildlife is kinda creepy. So yeah, they've got no food, no backup, and no clue what's lurking nearby. Takuto's feeling a little guilty that he can't do much right now, but Atu reassures him. Just being by his side is enough. He's surprised too. In the game, he never really got a sense of Atu's personality, but now she's warm, loyal, and way more expressive than he expected. By the way, their scout spots something interesting, a dark elf settlement not too far from their location. The good news, dark elves lean toward neutral evil alignment, so they're not immediately hostile. While that's a small relief, Takuto's still cautious. If that settlement belongs to another nation, things could get messy. He'd rather avoid war, especially in the early stages. So he jokes, if it comes to that, let's just run away together. Atu agrees with a smile. Minoura may be a civilization of ruin, but it still loves peace and quiet. Atu says it straight, war is for barbarians. So for now, they'll keep an eye on the nearby dark elves and gather more intel. If things go south, they'll just run away far away, just the two of them, on a little escape journey. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to a group of dark elves led by Isekai'd, the male warrior chief of the Mazaram tribe. They've just left the forest and are in a pretty desperate situation. Their homeland's gone, they've got nowhere else to go, and the kids can't hold out much longer. The forest they're in is lush, so there should be food, but something's off. Turns out they're in the cursed Great Tree Sea, on the edge of the unexplored Idrigia continent. According to old texts, something evil is sealed there, something that doesn't allow life to thrive. But Gia won't give up. He believes their noble spirits and ancestors will guide them through this mess. However, things don't go according to plan when Gia's group encounters Takuto and Atu. Needless to say, Gia is scared to death upon laying his eyes on Takuto. From his perspective, Takuto looks like an otherworldly evil being. Realizing that his actions could put the fate of his entire tribe in danger, Gia steps forward and apologizes for entering the forest without permission. He explains that the Mazaram tribe once lived peacefully in central Idrigia, but were driven from their homeland by the ruling council, the Tetrarchia. They've been on the run ever since, starving and exhausted. As Takuto questions him, Gia starts to tremble with fear. He's frustrated. Why are we being hunted like this? What did we even do? All they wanted was a safe place to live. As Takuto learns about their food shortage, he offers them some apples. Although Gia is initially hesitant, considering Takuto seems like a terrifying being, his colleagues start eating the apples. He then humbly asks that the fruit they received be given to the children instead of himself. Feeling bad for them, Takuto ends up giving a heap of fruits and vegetables. Needless to say, everyone is stunned. By the way, the fruit they got, it's a miracle. Everyone's stunned by how good it tastes. Even the elders, who've lived for centuries, say they've never seen anything like it. Turns out the fruit came from deep within the forest, brought back by Gia, who claims he met a mysterious being there. And not just any being, possibly the King of Ruin. The leader of the Dark Elves recalls some old legends and texts. They speak of a sealed entity in the Great Tree Sea, one that appears when the world reaches saturation. The King of Ruin is said to destroy everything and reset the world from scratch. Gia didn't hear a name, but the presence was terrifying enough to fit the title, and there was a girl with him who helped translate his cryptic words. He asks, was it mercy? Was it manipulation? Gia insists it was kindness, that the king sympathized with their suffering. But the elder warns that no evil being gives without asking for something in return. Still, they're alive, fed, and able to argue because of him. So the elder steps up. He'll handle negotiations with the king himself. He's lived 200 years and believes he can do something. Gia is praised for his bravery, and the tribe wonders when will they finally sleep peacefully again. Meanwhile, back with Takuto and Atu, Takuto's feeling guilty. He used up precious mana to help the elves just because he felt bad. Atu scolds him gently, reminding him that Minogra has only just begun and they don't even know the full situation yet. But Takuto is like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it. And Atu, she's not mad, she's just worried. Takuto then blurts out, I'll listen to everything you say from now on. Atu blushes and says that's a bit much, but she's clearly touched. He admits he needs her. Without her, he's lost. And yeah, he also confesses that he's terrible at talking to people. He could chat with Atu just fine, but when it came to the Dark Elves, total communication breakdown. Turns out, even in this fantasy world, Takuto has still got his real-world social anxiety. He remembered struggling to talk to nurses and doctors back in the hospital. So yeah, being a king doesn't magically fix that. But with Atu by his side, he's willing to try.
If you're still here, subscribing is the least you can do. No pressure though.